The flexibility that is required to live in Grenada is a must. It's a certain amount, people. Oh man, my plants really need to be repotted so they can grow. Look, they just flourishing. All these new leaves is just coming. I gotta take this out and give it its own pot. Look, a new one trying to come there. They can't breathe. It's like, anyway, the flexibility that is required to live in Grenada. Yes, is a must. Flexibility is a must in Grenada. I am here to tell you the truth. I'm just coming from the post office. Look, I had shipped out some of my beautiful handcraft to a sister in Brooklyn. And I don't know, I think her address was not a good one. Like one of the ones that the postman would rather not go into. And anyway, she said, resend my stuff. It just came back to me. Return to sender. Always send your stuff smelling so lovely. I can still smell the loveliness on the packaging. I'm opening it and I'm going to repackage it tomorrow and ship it back out to her again. And she's going to use another address. People, when I send you stuff, you got to give me, she ordered a beautiful medium-sized pair. This would be considered my medium. A medium earring. And she, yes, Yvette, I'm sharing your stuff with the world since it came back to me. And she got another pair. Wow, this was over a month ago. This is why you really have to be on the lookout for your stuff. Well, you have tracking. She could make it to the post office and they didn't leave a sticker on her door. And I don't know what's happening in America. She ordered a second pair. She surely got good taste. And I ain't just saying it because it's my work. She got good taste. And she ordered a couple rings. This was one. Well, this is one. I had to put a little shape back in them. I don't know. They must have. And this is another one. So those were her two rings. I just got them down here, but they're adjustable. Most of my rings are adjustable and they can fit any finger. You just make them bigger or squeeze them tighter. This could, you know. But that's her beautiful product, and it will go back out again tomorrow, back to New York. But people, you got to give me addresses that the postman is not afraid to go into the neighborhood. You know how some postal workers, or you got dogs barking ready to eat the postman up. They ain't going. And I don't know what's happening in America, because I'm serious, and I'm not exaggerating, about my last 12 customers. My last 12 customers, at least 12 of them had to go to the post office to collect their stuff only because we knew the time was up. I know how long it takes for my product to get to America. And no note. They ain't leaving no notices on the door. I said, wow, the post office in America is getting just as slack as we can be over here. But we got an excuse. We're a slower paced country. We're known to be slow. America, no. So I'm not sure what's going on with the postal. Whew. I'm just coming in. But they're not leaving package. They're not leaving notices on the door, y'all. So I'm going to repackage her and she'll go out again tomorrow. I'm going to leave her wrapped inside her package. Anyway, yep, the topic says the flexibility. That's what I want to talk about today, y'all. The flexibility that's required. My stuff smells good when it go out to y'all. The flexibility that's required to live on a lovely island. And I'm talking about mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and financially, and physically. Did I say that? Mentally, physically, financially, spiritually, and emotionally. I'm talking about the whole gamut across the board. Like if you come here weak, you will leave strong. I'm telling you. This is not for the weak at heart. As beautiful as the island is, it is not for the weak at heart, y'all. And that's all the way around the board. I'm telling you. Mentally, spiritually, physically, financially, and emotionally. So I'm just saying because let's start with physically. I wouldn't suggest you come here if you're not physically in the best of shape. Or physically, I say ready to heal naturally. Because you never know what's going to happen. And you're going to need your strength. Like, I would have never thought in a million years I would invite someone to my home. I don't care what circumstances it was under. Invite someone to my home and they would take my keys without my permission. And it would be a whole nother year later when the insurance company is ready to get up off that money. I would have never thought in a million years that would have happened, right? So you don't know what can happen, which led to so much. I'm talking about the trickle down effect. I didn't realize all it was going to affect. You know how something happens and you don't even think about all the things it's going to affect. It's just like take alcoholism or drug addiction. People look at the person that's the addict or the alcoholic and say, oh, well, whatever. No, but alcoholism and addiction affects the whole entire family. I'm talking about that kind of trickle down effect. You might be the one drunk over there, but for real, you have affected your whole family. Ain't nobody getting no sleep at night because they don't know where your crazy behind is, sleeping on a park bench or in a park under a rock. They don't even know if you're alive or dead. It's just stressful on the whole family. Well, that's how this thing, I had no idea it affected the way I move around. Like if my physical strength wasn't strong right now, I would be jacked. Because I was so hell-bent on no, I'm not buying another car, which I could have done 2-3 times, which I can do right now. But no, it is the insurance company. I paid them $1,500 a year. It's their responsibility. So I call, and by me waiting and going up against them and lawyers and this and that, you got to be physically, and over here is physical strength. So if you're in a position where you got to be walking and hopping and catching buses and taxis, physical, yes, exercise is beautiful, y'all. I take full advantage every time exercise is an opportunity. I take full advantage of it, and you should too. But people might say you don't need a car. I've heard locals, even my ex-husband used to say, he ain't interested, I don't need none of that. But as soon as he got access to one, he ready to drive. As soon as I came in a relationship with one, he wanted to drive it all the time. If it ain't that important to you, then go and sit down and finish hiking them damn big ass hills. You better be physically ready over here because, and it's more than just about exercise. It's okay to do it because it's a great place to get exercise. But when you forced into it, like somebody steal your car and then you got to, that shit ain't fun. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care what, and if they tell you it is, they lying. So you better be physically and the type of walking that you doing. And then with the bus situation with me, y'all already know the bus situation because y'all been following me. Where the road was fixing, they left me with no transportation. Well, today the bus brought me home. I was shocked because one bus driver was held up. They said with the police or something. I don't know the deal, but he was held up. So apparently the other bus said, come on for everybody. And they brought me in front of my door like they had been doing for a whole year. Anyway, but I'm saying the physical strength that's needed to move around is not easy. Like I feel for people in wheelchairs or because half of the roads are unpaved or they real steep. If you ain't got a motorized or if you have a problem walking or if you got a cane and you don't live on the main road or, stuff like that. The physical strength So think about it, people. It's other things to think about than just looking at my life and admiring my life, because people love, oh, Natural, we love your life. We love your life. And I love my life too. But I'm telling you, I wouldn't suggest nobody come here if they was like weak physically or some kind of sickness going on physically. It's too much. It would be too much. I don't know what's going to happen when I'm at an age, if I ever get to an age. I don't know. The Creator might leave me in good health until it's over, which is my prayer till the fat lady sings. But that's why I pray for health, strength, and daily food. Strength and health is far more important than some other stuff. I'm telling you, y'all. So physically, you better be right. Mentally, you better know how you're going to keep your mental health intact, because mental health is real, and you see it running so rampant here because this is not a place where medical is on the top of the line. It's not a place where mental health is taken serious enough to have access to get help if you need it. So you'll see it running rampantly, and then the alcohol and the mental health, all that can go hand in hand. So you'll see it, and it's pretty much unaddressed. It'll make you real grateful to have your mental health intact. And the universe don't even have to be that good to none of us, because I have a past too. I'm a grateful recovering addict. I didn't have to come out with my clear mind. You understand what I'm saying? So address your mental health and know how you're going to keep your mental health, because things gonna happen. I am newly divorced. Just a whole lot of stuff that an average person would have probably had broken down by now. Listen, you gotta be strong, y'all. And if you come weak, Grenada break you in real nice. Your spiritual condition. There's nothing more important to me in this life than my spiritual condition. So if I see you some kind of negative spirit and you tampering with not tampering with it, because I ain't giving you that much power, but if you negative enough and evil enough to try to, let me put it that way, tamper with my spiritual condition, you got to go. I'll block you from every angle. You got to go, and I don't care who you is, blood or no blood. You got to go, because my spiritual condition is everything. It's the first thing to go when people are going under. Nobody will be the reason I go under. I will solely be the reason. I ain't giving nobody that much power. But spiritually, and I'm going to give you an example. I was just waiting on the bus, and it was me and two guys sitting there. One of them, both of them I'm familiar with. One drives a bus, and one is my neighbor. He lives in my village. So the guy came by. You can clearly see it was mental health and alcohol, combined. But he turned to, it's three of us sitting there. He turned to me and said, "Can I have $1? Whatever, cash some money." And see, I got this thing about me when a man asking me for money, and it seemed to have got real prevalent when I moved here to Grenada. One thing about Grenadan men, and I ain't gonna say all of them, but the average Grenadan man is not afraid to beg a woman for money. Now, hey, I understand. You see an opportunity to beg, but my thing is, a man can't feel good about himself doing that. I don't care if he do it. And it seems like it's only a problem when she says something about it. As long as she don't say nothing about it, everything's cool. But if she says something about it, boom, all hell break loose. But I'm not her. I'm not her. So the guy next to me said, "Why you don't give men money?" He said, "Now I'm sure you got a reason behind it." I was trying not to say it. He said, "Well, I'm sure you got a reason behind it." And he kept repeating. I said, "Yeah, there is a reason behind it." And it didn't really get entrenched until I moved here. And almost every man I've come in contact with here has begged me for money. Now, I know when they hear this speech of mine, which is considered a white man's language. But you know what? One thing for sure, the two gentlemen that were sitting there, they did not, they said, "You know what, sis, we might have to do a part two, because something got in my throat. I think it's somebody cutting their grass. So I went and fixed me some ginger, but we're going to do a part 2. But they did not deny. He said, you know what, sis? You're right. He said, not every man. He said, but most men, most Grenadian men do beg women for money. I said, brother, thank you. I said, thank you. He said, you know, that, and it ain't cool. He said, it ain't cool. He said, now I can see if you're in a relationship with somebody and, you know, you sharing, but you supposed to be looking out for your woman. Because he said one thing for sure, a man ain't feeling good if he begging a woman for money. I said, brother, I needed to hear that from a local brother. Thank you. So anyway, let's do part 2 because we got to get to the whole, what we did, spiritual, physical. We got to get to the financial and emotional. Surely the financial. Part 2 coming. Stay tuned. Please like, subscribe, and share.